Hey, vinyl community, it's been a while, and unfortunately for you, this is my only opportunity to film a video, and I have a horrible cold. So I'm going to try to keep the sniffles and coughs and all of that to a minimum. But, and this will be my last video for maybe 4 weeks, a month or so, for reasons I've told about many times in other videos. So we're going to plow through this one, and like I said, I'll try to keep this sniffle free for you. So cheers, I need coffee today. I just got my voice back, and unfortunately, like I said, this is the only time I have to film this video. A couple quick things. The last video I posted was a live clip of a rap show I went to with my son, and a couple people were kind of asking why, because it's not really something I would post. So just a really quick 30-second preface. That was a show I took my son to. And this is just for those people who are wondering why I would post that random rap video of whatever his name was. Ski Mask, the Slump God. It's my son's favorite rapper, and the show was sold out. He was so excited to go, and it's one of those moments that it was a bonding moment, I guess. I took him to the show, and I had a fantastic time in the sense that I had the greatest time watching my son have the best time of his life, or at least in recent memory. So that's kind of why I posted that. Some people were asking why, but that's why. It was just, and I put that video up there for my son and his friends to watch, and there you have it. Nothing more than that. And like I said, it's not really my thing, but I had a fantastic night that night with my son, and the odd time that me and him get to go to shows together, it's a rare occasion nowadays as he gets older, and so that's why that's up there. Anyways, a lot of people are watching it, so I guess a lot of other people are interested in it, but that's why. I don't think I really needed to explain that, but just to answer some of those questions. All right. Like I said, it's been a while since my last video, and it's going to be a while until my next video. There's quite a bit to plow through, and we're going to, a lot of really good stuff, so hang tight, because there's a lot of stuff. This is in no order whatsoever, so I didn't really front load this video with good stuff. It's just, this is the way the pile sits. A couple new albums. I'm going to get right to this. So I don't think this is going to be one of those short videos I've been posting lately. This might be a longer one, but you know what? Break it in parts. Skip through it. Bear with me. I'm not going to see you for a while. All right, two new arrivals. Like I've been saying the last many videos, I've not been buying a lot of new vinyl. So I've been really picky and choosy, and words similar to that. But I was anxiously awaiting this one since I heard it was coming out on vinyl. It's the soundtrack for a documentary called Beside Bowie. And it's a documentary by a gentleman called John Brewer. He did this documentary on Mick Ronson, this gentleman right here, who was the guitar player in the Spiders of Mars. And more than that, after the Spiders of Mars broke up with David Bowie. He went on to do solo albums. He worked with Ian Hunter. He played guitar on a lot of other albums. He produced albums. But anyways, very influential guitar player from the UK, as some of you might know. But this is the soundtrack to the documentary double album. It's the two most interesting things for me were there are two recordings from the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. You get All the Young Dudes with Bowie and Queen and Mick Ronson. And then you get Heroes. Both really tremendous versions, if you guys know that concert. Bowie came on and did Heroes and All the Young Dudes with Ian Hunter from Moth the Hoople. Then you get some selected songs from Bowie from the Ziggy Stardust years. You get some Mick Ronson solo stuff. Some Ian Hunter, Elton John. Which makes sense if you see the documentary, which I highly recommend. I'm a massive Mick Ronson fan. So really excited to get this, and it's a great soundtrack. I don't really dip a toe in the waters of soundtracks very much anymore, as I find I don't play them a whole lot. But this one, double album, tremendous. If you're a Bowie fan, Mick Ronson fan, just great. And I highly recommend the documentary that came out. If you're in Canada, it's a little bit hard to find, but in the States, I guess, in UK, it's a lot easier to find that documentary on streaming services. But the Blu-ray's out. Anyways. All right. I have an original pressing of this one, but my friend Tom, who I refer to every now and again, he tipped me off that a few months ago this band was, I'm not sure if they got an official license. I'm guessing they did get an official license from Deaf American Records, from Rick Rubin, to do a limited pressing of this album. So their website was offering a pre-order for a limited number of 500. This is only 500 copies of this were made. And if you pre-ordered it, they threw your name in the credits. So my name's in the credits, my friend Tom. But it's the Four Horsemen. Nobody said it was easy. What's good about this one, like I said, it's limited to 500. It's on colored vinyl. Is you get a bonus album, as I brain fart. You get a bonus album of their first EP, some live tracks, and I think the last ever recording they did, which I believe was I think they did a cover song, drunkenly on a Christmas day, apparently. But they reissued that one. Like I said, it was an exclusive through their website of 500. So in the credits there, if you have this album, if you look through the credits, my name is there. Yeah, nothing more to say about that. Probably one of the best, most rockin' albums that Deaf American ever did. And I don't mean metal like Slayer, just pure out rock. Dirty bar band rock was the Four Horsemen. Nobody said it was easy. So I have an original pressing, and I got this really nice double vinyl pressing of that album. This is we're going into all my thrift store finds, or cheap thrift store finds. This one was maybe the most exciting because it's not something you'd ever think about finding. It's for Frank Zappa fans. Pay attention. This is an original pressing of the GTO's Permanent Damage. Maybe one of the rarest albums I've found in the wild in years and years and years. It's an original pressing on Straight Records. If you don't know the GTOs, this is their one and only album from 1969. Frank Zappa put this band together. It's all girls. In fact, it features one Pamela DeBar. If you know her, she wrote that book, I'm With the Band, kind of the first book about groupies. And I'm going to open this up really quickly so you can kind of see. There she is right there, Pamela DeBar, and there's the band. Very short-lived band. But the album is very rare. It's very, I don't know. You know what? If you listen to Discogs, which is not always the best thing to do, it's experimental, psych, spoken word kind of stuff. Really weird. It's Frank Zappa. I mean, it's going to be weird. So, probably, like I said, one of the rarest finds I've had in a long, long, long time is the GTO's Permanent Damage. That might be my screenshot because it's probably one of the albums I'm most proud of finding in the last little while. There you go. Janis Joplin. I got them old Cosmic Blues again. Original Columbia 2i pressing of that one. A lot of these don't need any explanation. We all know Janis Joplin and some of these albums, so just for the interest of time, this is going to be brief. Really nice copy, though. I can't remember if I ever had this album before. I'm sure I did. I'm sure it's come in and out of my hands. And what's one of my videos without a more Bowie? But I found an original RCA pressing of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars. The album we were just talking about with Mick Ronson. I don't know how many copies of this album I have now. 5 different pressings, I'm guessing, which is kind of it's overboard. But Bowie's one of those artists I will collect multiple copies of. But at some point, I'm going to start filtering them out. And I got all the anniversary ones and the ones that came in the box set. And I'm not sure if I have an original pressing that I've actually retained, but a pretty nice copy of Ziggy Stardust. Not really my thing, but this album coming up. but it was in a haul of thrift store records, and might as well just grab them all while they're there. But it's very rare that I find this album. Simon and Garfunkel. I know a lot of you like Simon and Garfunkel. I got nothing against them. It's just not something I would willingly put on, maybe every now and again. But it's very rare that I find this album in really good condition. Usually Simon, you find these albums all the time at thrift stores, but they're usually kind of roached. But this one is a really nice one, so I decided to pick it up. Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. What's on this one anyways? The Sound of Silence. There you go. So that's worth it for that one alone. A couple Rolling Stones. It's Only Rock and Roll. I don't remember. Like, I've talked about this many, many times. I'm not the biggest Stones fan, although I have like my Stones collection in my collection is like that big. If you're in front of me, that's a pretty big collection of Rolling Stones records for a band that I'm not thrilled about. And I've said this before. I much prefer, as uncool as this sounds, I much prefer their 70s material and some of their 80s albums personally. To each their own. Shoot me. But it's Only Rock and Roll. Like I said, I don't remember if I have this one. I don't think so, but I wasn't going to leave it there. And a copy of Emotional Rescue. I think I do have this one. Really, it's worth it for 2 songs, Emotional Rescue and She's So Cold. So Rolling Stones, Emotional Rescue. Some jazz stuff. If you're not a jazz fan, you got the slider right there. Slide right through it. Jackie McLean and Dexter Gordon, Volume 1, The Meeting. Don't know much about this album. It's 1976, mid-70s. Well past their Blue Note years anyways. But mid-70s, it's still not that far removed from kind of that golden era of jazz in the 60s. At least I think it is anyways. I haven't had a chance to play this album, to be honest with you, but I'm looking forward to it. I do like Jackie McLean and Dexter Gordon. I do have a few of his albums too, so that was a pretty nice find. Joe Pass, Montreux 77 Live. I just picked this up. It's good trading material. I'm not the biggest Joe Pass fan. Bob Dylan. See, now I hope you stop the slider right here, because we're back to, the jazz is done. Let me see. I think it is. I think it's done. Bob Dylan, Slow Train Coming. I do have this album, but like a lot of these albums I'm going to show you, it's, you know, might as well take them all from the thrift store for a couple bucks each. Gotta serve yourself. Maybe, you know, I can't say that I have this album committed to memory, like some of his earlier albums, but Gotta Serve Somebody is probably the song some people might know, and the reason why you would pick this up. Joan Jett album. I've had this album before and it went missing. So I'm not sure if see, when I say it's gone missing, that means either I've traded it, I've sold it, and or it's lost in the myriad of albums that you can't see off to the left here. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of records I have to the left here. It could be lost in those for some unknown reason. But Joan Jett, I'll never say no to a Joan Jett album. Some blues. Jimmy Witherspoon, Blues Around the Clock, 1964 on Prestige Records. I hardly ever find blues albums. I found a John Lee Hooker in my last video, actually. But just a couple recently. Jimmy Witherspoon. I haven't played it yet. Don't know if I like it. I know Jimmy Witherspoon. Just haven't played this one yet. I haven't been, honestly, I have not been playing a lot of records lately. I've been I've not even really been going out looking for records. All the stuff you're seeing now is the byproduct of a couple weeks ago. Actually, they've just been sitting here as I've been peeling stickers off them and cleaning them. Work's been crazy. Been sick. Just haven't had a lot of time. Still kind of getting things together, mopping up the last bit of that little flood I had, and just life's been busy. So, like I said, a lot of these records I've not actually heard yet. This album I did find a few months ago, and of all places, I found another copy. When I posted all these albums, I posted on the YouTube vinyl community, and somebody was asking me what this was, and it's in another video of mine. But it's the Cult Sonic Temple Collection. I found this for $2, and it's excuse me. I promised you I wouldn't cough or sneeze. This is limited numbered in the back there. You can see there. But this is the second one I've found. The Cult were huge in Canada, though. I mean, maybe per capita, the Cult were the biggest in Canada than any other place in the world. Per capita, I'm speaking of. But this is, what this is a holder for all the 12-inch singles that came out for this album. And they all came collected within here. And like I said, this is my second copy I found of, I think there's 3 that go in here. It's like Firewoman, Edie, Cow Baby, Sun King. Maybe it holds 4. I'm not taking it out, but I have 2 of these now. I don't need 2. I'm sure I'll find a new home for that one. A band called Hookfoot, Good Times Are Coming. This is an original pressing on A&M Records, 1972. They were a British rock band. They were around for maybe 5 years. And when I find these albums for a couple bucks, you know what? It's something new I've never listened to. So I kind of, like, I know what I'm getting from Bob Dylan, and I kind of know what to expect from Jimmy Witherspoon and those albums I haven't played. But this one is a total blind buy. It kind of looked kind of cool. The guys look like kind of cool rockin' 70s guys. I think that's Bob Kulick on the back. Although they're a British rock band, this is Bob Kulick on the back. Some of you might know Bob Kulick, kind of a famed session musician. His brother later went on to play in Kiss and a few other bands. But Hookfoot, Good Times Are Coming, blind buy. Maybe one of these days I'll have a chance to play some of these records. Gonna skip that one. No one's gonna give a shit about that one. I got a filter. Last video, you might remember I found this one, an original UK pressing on Harvest Records of Babe Ruth. I think I'm slurring my words now. High on cold medicine. But I found that one. And then like a week later, I found another copy of Babe Ruth First Base. You can tell the first pressing Harvest from the Canadian Harvest pressing of different colored logos. But I did a horrible job peeling stickers because that one's still on there. But I think I'll keep this one. And I'll maybe try to find a new home for the original UK or vice versa. But yeah, a week apart, I found an original UK and an original Canadian pressing of Babe Ruth First Base. This one I picked up, it's a pure oddity. It looked weird. And I looked up the Discogs value. So I purely picked this up for value. It's an original Capitol Records. And it's... you have to follow me on this one. It's called Rockin' Tokyo on Capitol Records. And what it is Japanese artists doing kind of popular songs of the day. 60s. But I got that for $2, and I thought, excuse me if I'm wrong on this one. Like I think Discogs value is something like $50 to $75 for this album. I don't know why. But Rockin' Tokyo, never seen it before. I'm afraid to play it. But go figure, Rockin' Tokyo. Japanese artists doing kind of popular American songs of the 60s. It's interesting, if nothing else. This one I did post on the YouTube vinyl community on Facebook, if you remember. I took the price sticker off, so I can't actually, but if you saw that post, I know a few people did. Vinyl79 saw it on there and was asking me about it. But I found for $4, it's $3.99, Mr. Bungle, Disco Volante. An original pressing of Disco Volante on London/Records. And I said the GTOs was a hell of a good find, but this is a damn good find. I do prefer this album to their first album, to be honest with you, Disco Volante. It's a little bit weirder. Mr. Mike Patton, so it's going to be weird. But for value, that's probably one of the better finds I've had in monetarily speaking. Just for your interest, my interest, for that interest. Mr. Bungle, Disco Volante. I could be talking more about that album, but I'm trying to keep this as brief as possible. This album, I know not a goddamn thing about it, but it was like part of that. It was $2, and it's on clear vinyl, so I figured someone might want it. It's a band called Federation X, American Folk Horror. Guessing it's a punk band. I don't know. Like I said, I've not played it yet, but it's on clear vinyl. I don't know if you guys know this band, but I don't. So I'm guessing it's more people donating newer albums, which I'm finding more and more and more and more these days, which is fine by me. I mean, who the hell donates Mr. Bungle? GTOs. Anyways, this band I don't know anything about, because I thought I would just show it to you in case you guys know this band. I don't even know if I'll play it, to be honest with you. I might just turn it around. Hot Tuna, recorded live at New Orleans House, Berkeley. But if I recall right, is this the first Hot Tuna album? I didn't do my homework, but this is all off the top of my head as usual. Hot Tuna. I do like some Hot Tuna, and I do like this album a lot, but this is a much cleaner copy than the one I have, so I'll kind of pass along that one. But Hot Tuna. We're down to the last 50. I'm kidding. Bruce Springsteen's first album, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Nothing really to say about that one. But if you don't know this album, listen to the song Spirits of the Night. Maybe one of my all-time favorite Bruce Springsteen albums, and it's on his first album. MFSB, Love is the Message, on, what's that Philly label? Philadelphia International Records via Columbia Records, I believe. You all probably have seen this album a million times at record fairs, etc. Pretty damn good, kind of funky soul album. These were really random finds, because we got Saxon Crusader, an album I don't own. I have most of the early Saxon albums, but I don't have this one. So I can't vouch for how good it is, but it's early-ish Saxon in relative terms to what year it is today, I guess. But Saxon Crusader, I don't mind some Saxon, Denim and Leather. A band called Isis, Ain't No Backing Up Now, and I think there's been many bands called Isis. There was a band in the 90s, I believe, or 2000s called Isis. Can't remember much about them. Were they kind of a hardcore band? But this is, as you can tell by the cover, on Buddha Records, original Buddha Records inner pressing. As you can tell, Buddha Records advertising their Genesis issues in North America. But this is on Buddha Records. Funky soul album, more or less, for lack of a better description, I guess. I did listen to this one, actually. It's okay. The name Isis is kind of now ironic a little bit, or odd. Are there any fans of the band Audience? Audience, I found two of their albums, The House on the Hill. Audience were a really odd band. These are all original Elektra Records pressing. They were kind of an art rock kind of thing, really weird, early 70s. So I found a copy of The House on the Hill. You see these records every now and again, and a lot of people, they look kind of cheesy, so a lot of people don't pick them up, but pick these up. Audience, damn good records, and you can find them for a couple bucks. And then Audience, this is in the Shrink still, album called Lunch, 1972. Really good weird stuff. I highly recommend Audience. I picked it, like I saw on these records, like that Rock in Tokyo. I just picked this up because of just, I got to turn some of these albums around so I can buy kind of, my Grail albums. But James Walsh, Gypsy Band, what is this on? RCA Records. Seems to be a sought-after album on Discogs. It seems to go for a few bucks. And by a few bucks, I mean more than a few bucks. I bought it because the cover. Really nice cover. I thought it might have been kind of a weird psychedelic thing. But it's actually kind of a funky, funky thing, I guess, more or less. Not really my thing, but just for interest sake, I thought I'd show it to you. James Walsh Gypsy Band. And I think the cold medicine's kicking in now. Try to keep my slurps to a minimum. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Two more. James Gang Thirds, an original ABC Dunhill Records pressing. Of course, Joe Walsh. And I'm guessing, because I didn't even bother investigating this album, but by the title Thirds, I'm guessing it's their third album. Could be wrong. This is maybe one of the only James Gang album I don't have, and I've not heard. But Dale Peters, Joe Walsh, Jim Fox, which made up James Gang at this time. Of course, later on, Joe Walsh left, and I think Tommy Bolin was one of those people that replaced him, later of Deep Purple. Last one, This is on Vanguard Records. It's a band called The Frost, Rock and Roll Music. I picked it up purely rock stuff on Vanguard or Verve Forecast. It's really, typically really good stuff. This is called, this is actually, it was recorded, some of it's live, recorded at the Grand Ballroom in Detroit. But as the title would say, it's a pretty damn good rock album. What's this, 19... Oh, I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna brain fart. I don't even know what it'll say at the label. 1969. Anything rock 1965 or 1969, I'm gonna pick up for $1 or $2. But The Frost, Rock and Roll Music, and I'm not sure if anyone knows the band, but this one of those cool finds. Late 60s rock, I'll pick it up every time. That's it. That's all I got for you, except for the one album I passed on. You guys don't need to see 80s albums, do you? I play those. I don't show them to you. Anyways, want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. I know everyone's got a lot of other things to do in summertime. So the people who are still kicking around watching videos until it gets cold again and you got nothing else to do but to watch YouTube videos, thank you for watching these videos. I'm all out of shout outs. I can't remember now. I'm sick. Like I said, this will be my last video for at least a month. I hope you're still around when I come back. And I'm hoping to have some good finds on my upcoming vacation. God willing. If not, you know what? I'll have a lot of fun looking. London isn't exactly, you know, the best place to look for records. But I'll always pick up some bits and bobs. And I think I might be... as I've talked about before in previous videos, every summer my wife and I, we kind of travel around. We usually do 5 to 7 countries in Europe. This year we kind of decided just to stay static, stay in London. But I think we might be going to Paris. And I might be heading up to Brighton, I think. She wants to go. What do I care? I'm not home. I'm not working, so I'll go wherever she wants me to go. One last thing. I see, and I don't know how many people are going to make it to the end of this video. Some people have been asking me about doing meetups in London, and I will have time because my wife and my daughter will be off doing their wife and daughter stuff, and they really don't care to go record shopping with me. So if that's something that I can work out, I'll put a message out there for anyone who might want to meet up. It's not something I've ever done before, but some people have reached out asking me if we can meet up, do some record shopping, and which I'm always game for. So I'll put a message out there again. I'll probably put it on my Facebook page. I'll put it up on the YouTube Vinyl community. For those of you brave enough to hang into the very end of this video who live in London or that area, let me know. Drop me a message. I guess YouTube has discontinued their personal messages, so you got to leave a comment. Or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can drop me a Facebook message. And if I have time and if I know in advance, we can meet up and I can bore the shit out of you in person. I can slurp coffee in person. And you can see the crap records I actually do buy that I don't show on these videos because, you know, they all can't be good. All right. I'm stretching this out because I won't be making one for a while, but I'll see you next time with any finds I have on my vacation coming up. So we'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.